Sack Life Beat Depression. It's day 781, and we're about to have some fun with another active recovery session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, we're coming at you live from Bunny Hill, the legendary, the infamous Bunny Hill in Kearny, New Jersey. And I brought you guys out here today so that we could catch a beautiful sunset together. But it looks like, yeah, we're just about making it. That thing is setting way too early nowadays. So making the most of it. And try and get through today's class before the sun is gone completely. I don't think it's going to happen. It's probably wishful thinking. But the cool thing about sunsets is that they are beautiful, they are momentary, and they teach you how to really appreciate that moment. And even though things are temporary in life, it doesn't mean that they're any less beautiful. So get out there, give yourself some beautiful moments, find those moments. Doesn't matter if they're temporary or permanent. We want to ground ourselves into that moment so we can experience it fully and get the full joy out of each and every moment in life. So right now, we're out here in Kearny, New Jersey at Bunny Hill. And they call it Bunny Hill apparently because it used to be the site of a bunny farm, possibly a bunny petting zoo. But for as long as I've known it, it's just been an amazing place to come whenever it does actually snow out here in New Jersey. These hills, which are not going to be, yeah, you can kind of see them. Those hills behind me are an amazing place to bring the kids, bring the fam, and get some quality sledding in for free. And up top, they've got baseball fields and a little soccer field, football field. Also, it's one of the iconic locations for their firework displays out here in Kearny, New Jersey. So if you're in here around any of those times, pop on out to Bunny Hill. You got the inside scoop from Sackman. Check it out. And today, we're using it as a place to de-stress on our Water Flow Wednesday. Want to shout out gratitude to Slayer Ken for crushing his progress, for being here, for supporting the cause. Appreciate you. And also to Drunken Master number 2. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And Ken said, where are you? I am here in Bunny Hill in Kearny, New Jersey. It's not an ideal location for training because it's a hill. And ideally, you'd want level, flat ground. But this is a low-intensity, stress-relieving session, so we're going to be moving slow. Should be all right with keeping our balance and not rolling an ankle out here. Also, because I've been training for like 2 years, I got to give myself a challenge. So the varied terrain, the incline, the hills, the uneven terrain, that gives me a good challenge so I can help improve my balance myself out here as well. Shout out to Jen. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your support. If you're sticking with us today, it is a low-intensity day. We're going to be focusing on a breathwork tool known as diaphragmic breathing, and we're going to link that in with movement to give ourselves a low-intensity, stress-relieving session. At the same time, I'm going to try and teach you guys a roundhouse kick that we can link up with that breath. And if you don't have the room for the roundhouse kick, that's okay. You can just take the form and kind of bring that kick forwards if you don't have the room to pivot all the way around on that front foot. But if you do have the room, it's a good idea to practice those roundhouse kicks from both orthodox position and then switch over to southpaw position so you can kind of balance out your training on both sides, build that low, slow twitch muscle memory, and that will come in handy when you get into a situation with the bag and we're back to high intensity training. That being said, we're going to link movement with breath, and we're going to cover some fundamentals too. We'll stick with jabs and crosses because it's always good. The more you practice those, the more efficient you can become with those, and they're fundamental for a reason, pivotal to our progress and success out here, and they're always useful to practice. So we're going to start with jabs and crosses. We're going to move it into the roundhouse kick, and we're going to link everything with breath so that we can de-stress. So let's talk about that breath work tool first and give our bodies a break from stress using just the power of breath. This one is called diaphragmic breathing. It's a very basic, very simple tool. We're just going to place a hand over the chest and a hand over the belly and take a long, deep breath in through the nose to the belly. Let's take that breath in together, keeping the chest flat, nice and deep. Through the nose, expanding the belly. Hold on to it for a moment, and then long and slow exhale out the mouth. Exhaling out the mouth, inhaling through the nose to the belly, and keeping that chest flat will activate that parasympathetic nervous system, which will calm our system down, lower that energy level, lower that heart rate. The more we practice it, the more effective we can make it. There's a couple different ways that we can make it even more effective. One of them is by making sure that exhale is twice as long as the inhale. And the other one is by putting some resistance in the lips, so you've got some back pressure there when you're breathing out. You want a little pressure coming back that you're working against. That'll further activate that diaphragm breathing muscle and calm the nervous system. Shout out as well to Lisa the Luminary and checking in on comments. Slayer Ken said it's a special friend of mine's birthday, same age as me, 29. Awesomely cool individual. Her name is Ronnie. Well, happy birthday to Ronnie if you're watching. It's good to hear. You made it another year. Keep going forwards. Glad you've got social support out there, Ken. Glad you got good friends. Social support in itself can be a powerful mental health tool. And I've felt the benefits of you guys being here with us as a social support system through this Instagram tool, especially when I was out there on the road traveling alone for 90 plus days. Having a social support system is definitely something that helped me maintain a positive frame of mind and continue forward. So it's good to see that you guys are making good friends out there and supporting each other. Thank you guys so much for being there. That being said, let's get into the lesson. But before we do, make sure you are keeping track of your daily goal accomplishment. So the number of days that you show up for you, put in that work, and accomplish that goal. Today it's low intensity. It doesn't always have to be high intensity. Rest is a super important part of training process, super important part of that growth process, making sure we get enough rest and recovery. And on this show, we do active recovery, so we can keep sharpening those skills and keep training, even though we're giving our bodies that break from that stress. So keep track of the number of days you accomplish that goal, whether it's a big goal, small goal. Every day you accomplish that goal matters, and the more you keep track of it, the more powerful that number can be to remind you of your strength and endurance, especially on those bad days or days where you're dealing with a lot of stress or difficult situations. We all go through blue periods. Depression comes on a spectrum, and life is always going to hand us challenges. So every day we train forward is proof that we can overcome those challenges and overcome that debilitation. Shout out to Ken for sharing your days, 389 consecutive days of progress. No doubt you feel the benefits of that consistency and dedication out there as well. Everyone can show up for themselves and move forward to their ability. There's always room for progress, so keep on going. Let's keep inspiring one another, and thank you for sharing that progress. That being said, we're going to get into the lesson. It's 10 minutes straight through. Make sure you've got water. I don't have water. That's the one thing I forgot. Make sure you guys got water out there. You're well hydrated. And go nice and slow. Remember, we want to keep this thing low intensity. So let's return to the lesson. Let's return back to that breath and try one more time. One hand over the chest, one hand over the belly. Deep breath through the nose, filling that belly with air. Hold on to it. And now we want to exhale twice as long out the mouth with some pursed lips, some resistance in that mouth. Nice and slow. And if you check in on yourself right now, check in on your heart rate, on your anxiety level, on your stress level, on your energy level, and see where you're standing right now, if it's activated. We're about to calm it down with that breathwork tool and movement. So let's get right on into it. We're going to have some calming music coming through the boombox. Some relaxing binaural beats. There we go. Hopefully you guys can hear that loud and clear. And we're going to tune into that breath and let the breath be a guide to your movement today. So how we're going to do that is we're going to assume our Muay Thai stance. Remember, stance guides are available on Sack Life Official at the bottom of the free martial arts for mental health class page. There's guides for every stance we use out here. We're going to start by visualizing an opponent in front of us, that depression dummy, that anxiety dummy, whatever it is you're fighting forwards against today. Visualize that opponent, squaring up the hips and shoulders with that opponent. We're going to take a small step forwards into a balanced square position. You can also visualize a square on the ground. Box on the ground, put the ball of your front foot in the top corner, ball of the back foot in the bottom corner, head right in the middle. Nice balanced stance here. A little bit of bend in the knees will help shift that weight onto the balls of the feet. We want to keep the heels nice and loose so that they can rotate through our movements. From this balanced stance, curl those hips a little bit, roll those shoulders, tuck the chin, get the guard high by the brow line. And we're going to start by stepping in and twisting through into that number 1. Then we're going to rotate right on through to the number 2. And we're going to keep this low intensity by using that breathwork tool as a guide. So, on that deep breath in through the nose to the belly, we're going to assume our defensive stance. Guard nice and high, taking that deep breath in. Holding onto that breath in our defensive stance. When we're ready, we're going to long and slow exhale out the mouth and twist in. Twist into those striking patterns. Visualizing that opponent in front of us and making contact with that target with those large 2 knuckles. We want to make sure that we're rotating through the body, twisting through the shoulders and hips and turning those fists over so we can make contact on those knuckles and avoid injury. All right, let's get into it together. Take that deep breath in and pop into defensive stance. Starting with just the jab. Slow that jab down. Long and slow exhale. Fully exhaling here out the mouth. And then deep inhale through the nose as you return to defensive stance. Long and slow exhale forward. Rotating through the hip and shoulder, extending that lead fist forwards, turning those knuckles over. And you can tuck the chin here, you can refine that defense, refine that stance. Deep inhale back. Hold that breath in the belly. Long and slow exhale through jab and cross. Exhaling through the mouth and rotating through the whole body, all the way through those shoulders, twisting through into the fist. And the more we exaggerate this twist here, the longer the reach we're going to get on those punches. So really get a good stretch, get a good twist in there. Deep inhale back to the belly. Guard high, holding that breath in. Long and slow exhale through jab cross. 2 strikes here, 1 long exhale. Remember, we want to keep that exhale twice as long as the inhale. Deep inhale back. Guard high by the brow line. Long exhale forward. And stay there in striking pattern until you fully exhaled. Deep inhale back through the nose to the belly. All right, now we're going to start breaking down the roundhouse kick, but if you'd like, you can continue with that pattern, and in this moment, go ahead, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. If you're feeling any of that lactic acid building up, just stay nice and loose. Now at this moment, you can continue in that pattern of jab cross, following that breathwork tool, or you can start to expand and get more creative with your training routine. So we're going to start practicing this roundhouse kick. Feel free to follow along with me visually and audibly, or just continue to follow that breath so we can keep it at low intensity and use those basic fundamentals, something that's not too difficult for you. I'll be switching back and forth between the punches and the kicks. So for this roundhouse kick, what we want to do is from our Muay Thai stance, square it up, visualizing that opponent. We're going to step off that center line with the lead foot, turning that foot out, opening up the hip. And then we're going to reach across the face of that opponent, and we're going to toss our hip over. Kind of visualize that hip rounding, twisting, turning over. You can start practicing turning and chopping the arm with the leg as you turn that hip. Let's return to stance. Small step off that front line, opening up the hip, turning the foot out, reach across, and now we're going to toss that hip over and spin around on the ball of that front foot. So you're going to have to keep the heel light and toss that foot right on through all the way around. Rolling the hip is very important, making sure we get that rotation and that twist in, and we use our hands as a counterbalance. So pop back into Muay Thai stance, take that deep breath into the belly. Nice and slow, we're going to long exhale as you step off the line. And toss a nice low roundhouse kick right through the calf, rotating all the way around, back to stand up to your neutral stance. Take that deep breath in again to the belly. Long and slow exhale. Twisting through and rotating around on the ball of that front foot. And in order to prevent yourself from becoming dizzy, you can switch it up to southpaw and practice the same thing from the opposite side. Deep breath into the belly. Long exhale as you step off the line with that lead foot, reaching across the face, and we're going to toss through the hip. Remember, rotate through that hip and toss that leg over. Just like this. Reach across, toss it over, and rotate on the ball of that foot. It's going to be important to keep a little bit of bend in the knees. That shifts the weight onto the ball, and keep those heels just a little bit light on the ground, slightly raised. That'll let you rotate nice and easy. Curling the toe up in the shoe as well can help you get that weight onto the ball of the foot and off the toes for a nice easy pivot. Let's practice it together. Deep inhale to the belly. Into guard, long and slow exhale. Boom. Now ideally you do this on flat ground, not on a hill, not on uneven terrain like I'm doing out here right now. But this is just for me, give myself a personal challenge. Take that deep breath into the belly. Hold it in, long and slow exhale through roundhouse. Nice and smooth. And it can be a low roundhouse, mid roundhouse, or high roundhouse, whatever you're comfortable with. When you're changing the angle of that foot, when you change the angle of attack, you're gonna change the angle of that chop on the arm as well. So if we're going for the head, we're gonna reach across the head, and we're gonna lean back, and change that angle so the arm is chopping this way, and we can get that foot up high, and use kind of a scissor motion, whoosh, to drive it through the face of that opponent. But again, do it nice and slow. Always return to the power of that breath. Let's check in on ourselves right now and return to that breath work tool. One hand over the chest, one hand over the belly. Deep breath through the nose to that belly. Hold on to it. Long and slow exhale out the mouth. Check on yourself. Where's your heart rate? Where's your energy level? Should be calming it down with this breath work tool right now. Deep breath in through the nose to the belly. Hold on to it. Long and slow exhale out the mouth. Let's return to the jab cross fundamentals. Just keep that intensity low. You can do them from orthodox or from southpaw position, whichever you'd like to improve. Take that slow, deep breath into the belly. Assume in that position, guard high by the brow line, chin tucked, shoulders rolled, hips curled, knees bent, weight on the ball of the foot. Long and slow exhale into jab and cross. Twisting through, following the exhale for movement. Deep inhale back to the belly. Guard high, long and slow exhale through jab cross. Deep inhale back. Guard high, long and slow exhale through jab cross. Remember, exaggerate those shoulders, really get that shoulder twist in there. Stretch those muscles, build that muscle memory. Deep inhale back. Guard high, nice and balanced, long and slow exhale forward. Notice how I'm bringing the guard back to defend my head as I toss that opposite hand out there. Working defense and offense at the same time. Rolling the shoulder up and tucking the chin in adds even more defense, makes a smaller target. Deep inhale back. And I'm going to switch back to roundhouses, but feel free to follow that breath into your basic jab and cross. Keep that intensity low. Really go at your skill level. Challenge yourself out there. Keep it low and slow. Deep inhale to the belly. Long exhale to striking pattern. Deep inhale back to the belly. Long exhale to striking pattern. Guard high, chin tucked. Visualize that target and make contact with it on those strikes. Deep inhale to the belly. Long exhale to striking pattern. Inhale to the belly. Long exhale forwards through strikes. Guard high. Deep inhale. Let's return to the power of that breath. Keep that intensity low. Nice and slow. Breathing deep into the belly. Hold on to it for a moment. Long and slow exhale out the mouth. Now let's talk about some ways to improve balance in that roundhouse kick. Working on keeping the chin tucked the whole time. Keeping that chin tucked in. After we take the step in, right, we reach across. Keeping that chin tucked in should help us keep a nice center of balance. Let's practice it together. Deep inhale to the belly. Long exhale forwards, keeping the chin tucked. Tossing that foot through and pivoting on that lead foot. Back to stance, deep inhale to the belly. Long and slow exhale as you step out. Reaching across the face and chopping through as you scissor that leg through. Going high, medium, or low, your choice. Going back to the jabs and cross just to keep it low intensity and under control. Take that deep breath into the belly. In defensive stance, long and slow exhale forward. Twisting through that body. Fully exhale. Deep inhale back. Guard high, long and slow exhale through jab cross. Deep inhale back. Long and slow exhale through striking pattern, whichever one you like. And deep inhale back. Long and slow. And that is the end of our low and slow active recovery training session. So the cool thing about this is, if you check in on yourself right now, if you didn't get carried away with the energy behind striking patterns and you didn't get amped up and pick that speed up, you should have a nice calm, slow heart rate right now, and we should have that energy level under control so we can think calmly and clearly when we're presented with stressful situations. If not, let's tune into the power of that breathwork tool alone one more time before we go, and we're going to make it a little bit more effective with a proven method known as the 4-7-8 breath. We're going to take a 4-second inhale through the nose to the belly. We're going to hold on to it for 7 seconds, and then long and slow exhale for 8 seconds. We'll do this a few rounds just to make sure we got that system under control and we calm things down. Check in on yourself right now, see how you're feeling, and let's practice this thing together. 4 seconds into the belly. Hold for 7. 8-second exhale here. Four seconds into the belly, nice and slow. 7-second holds. 8-second exhale. One more time, 4 seconds into the belly. Hold on to it for 7. 8-second exhale. And that's going to be the end of our Water Flow Wednesday active recovery session. Hopefully you found a couple tools that you can improve on, room to grow out there, and hopefully these breathwork tools and movement tools are working for you. Always check in on yourself, see how you're feeling, how you're reacting to those different tools we have available. There are hundreds of ways that we can help ourselves out here. We just have to find the ones that work well for us as individuals. We're all different, so we've got to find those different paths forward. But know that there are many options out there. Keep going. When you find something that works, just add it into that super effective routine and keep moving forwards. Until next time, shout out to Haynes out there at Marb MM, who says glory day. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, I'll catch you guys same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Stackman out.